It's time to make the most important choice of your entire life. And it's not what education to pick, who to marry, or anything of that sort, because you're going to throw your life in the trash the coming months anyways. So what is it then? It's what class to play and what ascendancy to pick, obviously. So let's take a look, shall we? We'll start with the shit-smearing warrior and see who this class is for. The bread and butter of this class is pounding hard and getting pounded even harder. It's slow as shit and immortal, making it the perfect class for all the one brain cell dad gamers out there. Just be aware. Playing this class early game feels like dragging your massive ballsack through broken glass. At least for 20 hours or so. It's easy to pick skills and play it though. Just slap anything on the bars and you'll make it work. When it comes to the ascendancies, you have two choices, not unlike all the other classes. But first, for all the D4 gamers out there, what even is an ascendancy? Well, shit. It's a mini-class within the class itself. To unlock this mini-class, you'll have to complete trials in which you can gain a total of 8 points to grab within the ascendancy tree. Picking an ascendancy is permanent, but you can indeed respect the points you grab. And for the warrior, you have the Titan and Warbringer. Let's take a look at the Titan first. This is one of the most solid ascendancies out there. It's just a great all-arounder, at least if you listen to the gazillion streamers playing it right now. Every ascendancy node here is great with flat defensive and damage bonuses, where hulking form is the most disgusting out of all the nodes. If you want a safe and solid option where you basically can't do wrong, then you go Warrior and Titan. That's just how it is. For the second ascendancy, you have a bit more complexity. This is looking to be a great mapper, where you can explode enemies from your war cry, and it's also a solid option in case you want to focus on shields or totems. But I'd probably try to have some kind of idea in mind before grabbing this ascendancy. If you're brain dead and just want to go with the easy option, then go Titan. That's what I'll be doing when I'm done with my current class, which we'll cover now, the Monk. This class is for intellectuals on Adderall. Here you're going for the clean combos, combining both defensives and damage along with doing the unthinkable, playing melee or a hybrid, or hell, you can even play ranged, but then you may as well go for another class. And why do you need Adderall to play it? Well shit, look at the endgame gameplay, yummers. A benefit of this class that the warrior lacked was the fact that it's not boring as shit in the early game. It's decently fast, with added dashes and mobility and fairly complex combos from the get-go. This class in turn has the Invoker and Acolyte of Chihuahua, or whatever the fuck it's called. Let's check out the Invoker first. This ascendancy looks mid. It's not insane, and it's not dog. It's basically what you'd expect from a hybrid class, in my opinion. Here you have the choice to pick up some solid defensives via physical damage reduction or focus more on the decently strong elemental damage nodes. Personally, I'm going for this one, as this is yet another ascendancy that will be difficult to pick the wrong nodes with. Go for the elemental resistance and damage, and you're basically done. Boring but solid. The Acolyte, however, is looking way more unique. Here you'll focus on darkness and chaos, and what makes this one unique is Into the Breach. These will make you run around like an idiot picking up flames. But it's worth it, seeing as you're getting a humongous fucking damage bonus as you do it, combined with lucid dreaming, which doubles it and gives it to the next person. This in turn makes this ascendancy crazy strong, but most likely annoying as shit to play. And next up is the Sorceress. Who is this class for? Well, that's rather easy. It's for basic bitches. The kind of bitches that always go for the Sorcerer class, this one is for you. You have all the skills you'd expect, and playing this one early game is more or less the same as playing a Sorcerer in Diablo 4. And in the mid to end game, it's like playing the Sorcerer in Diablo 4 with the difference of actually having to follow a build guide. But at the same time, it's solid. You know what you're getting, and if you're into this kind of gameplay, then I don't blame you for going Sorcerer. but you're still a basic bitch. For the Sorceress, you have the Stormweaver and the Chronomancer. The Stormweaver is your standard setup, where every node is just flat-out solid. Perfect if you want to just keep playing, not really giving a shit about what you're doing. Damage, crowd control, mana, and defensives, a solid option. Now for the actual nutty Ascendancy, the Chronomancer. This one is cool as fuck. Here you'll manipulate time itself to reset your cooldowns, crowd control enemies, and teleport around the map. You do indeed need to have some kind of idea in mind to create a build out of this one though. But you have my full respect if you go for this one. It's badass and it's unique. Perhaps you have an idea of some long cooldown or spamming setup in which this one is your only option. Or perhaps you just want to edge your opponents. Imagine being just on the edge of busting, and this piece of shit turns back time.
I'm getting the feeling of coming, I'm getting the feeling of coming.
Please! God damn it!
Anyhow, next up is the Ranger. This is your typical bow and arrow character. For Path of Exile, 1 players think copy-paste. D4 players think rogue. This class felt great early though, and in case you haven't played a bunch of PoE1, then go for it. It's a great choice. Here you have the Pink Eye and Pathfinder Ascendancies. The Deadeye setup is the basic bitch setup yet again. It's an Ascendancy that is easy to understand, even for a dumbass such as myself. All the nodes are solid and grant you damage in one way or another. In case you go for some big boy nuking ability, then you can also grab this one to basically double your damage. You also have Tailwind, which is looking insanely strong. Think Dark Shroud from D4 or Silver Shroud from last epoch. You're basically gaining stacks as you're spamming out abilities, and you'll in turn avoid 1 attack. Then you keep spamming and avoid 1 attack. This one should be great for bossing, and less great if you're getting gangbanged by a bunch of demons. This is one of the Ascendancies that I want to play personally. The other Ascendancy is the Pathfinder. Here you'll be finding your path via the flask nodes in case you like chugging those bad boys, or just going for a poison setup. Either way, you need to have some kind of plan in mind if you go for this one. If you haven't noticed, then this is the theme for all the classes. 1 basic setup, and 1 cool and unique setup. This is not entirely true for the next class though, which is the Bitch Witch, or rather, your emo edgelord. Here we have the Blood Mage and the Infernalist. The Blood Mage is supposedly the basic version, but it's still quite unique in that it opens up an easy-to-understand build setup just from the crit nodes. Because crit is good, and here, max life turns into crit. So max life equals crit equals big damn equals big dick. That's an equation, that's for sure. Next up, we have the Infernalist. This one is badass as hell. We first have the demon form, which, turns you into demon form. This in turn grants you damage along with demon flames, which also boosts your damage. The perfect Ascendancy if you're sick of looking at your ugly ass avatar. I'm hoping that someone that is better at this game than I am will cook a solid demon build, because I want to play that right fucking now. Another way to play this one is via the Hellhound, granting you an additional friend to play with. And if the image haven't given it away yet, this Ascendancy has a bunch of fire nodes as well. Reading through this one again makes me regret going monk, but then again, I'm too lazy to make an actual demon build, so I'll leave that to you, my beautiful friends. And we'll instead take a look at the next class, the Mercenary, or rather, the Call of Duty class. Here you're running around with a crossbow, but it's not any crossbow because it's also a shotgun, or a sniper rifle, or hell, even an automatic M4A 1 caliber 5.56mm assault rifle. This shit goes BRR, and it's looking to be one of the more popular classes. It in turn has the Witch Hunter and Gemling. When it comes the Witch Hunter, Every node has something to do with the max life of your enemy. Execute low-life enemies, reduce their cooldowns, deal more damage, or make them explode as they die, which just has to be the best possible way to die. In any way, you're fine going for this one if you don't know what the hell you're doing, which is most likely true for the most of you. But you'll probably be fine going for the Gemling Legionnaire as well, because this one is mostly about buffing yourself as well. You can buff your skills, your attributes, or anything in between. But what makes this one unique is that you can get 3 additional skill slots. This is absolutely bonkers. The game is difficult as is, and Triple G is trying to bait me into picking 3 additional skills? Yeah, that ain't happening. I'd see this one being used either if you have a particular build in mind that requires these additional slots, or if you have ADHD and need more buttons to press. Alright friends, that's all for this one. Go play some goddamn Path of Exile now, and I'll see you in the next one.